Laura, there was more to my life than boardrooms and business deals. There's an organization called Trinity. It's looking to start a global genocide.
Your dad shouldn't you had a bigger holiday.
You had a knack for the unexpected.
You must stop them, Laura. Promise me.
Go!
Really?
Ladies first.
I'm not gonna give up.
Open the tube!
I'm not gonna suffer. I'm gonna work harder. I'm not gonna give up. I'm not gonna work harder.
Aloha! This is Trinidad the Island Man, your Island Man, coming to you live once again from beautiful Hawaii here on the island of Oahu, bringing you, yes you, the best movie reviews on the entire island of Oahu. And yes, this is Trinidad the Island Man, your Island Man. And today, well actually last night, Thursday night, the 15th of March, I went ahead and I saw Tomb Raider. Now this is the new one starring Alicia Vikander from Ex Machina. Also stars Dominic West, Walter Goggin, and Daniel Wu and Nick Frost. And remember our rating scale. Let me just say, remember, shock a thumbs up. It's good to see. I recommend it. Shock a thumbs down. It's bad to see. It's junk. I don't recommend it. And for this third Tomb Raider movie, it is a shock a thumbs up. Now, let me just say that I was a little bit hesitant to go ahead and see this movie. You know, I enjoyed the first two. I think I enjoyed the first Tomb Raider better than the second one with Angelina Jolie. I definitely enjoyed the look of those movies with Angelina Jolie. And I found, you know, heading into this, watching some of the trailers with Alicia Vikander, she seemed to be a little bit wanting as far as lacking certain attributes that Angelina Jolie had brought to the role. You know, and in some of the interviews she has addressed this, but, you know, I mean, ultimately, you know, this is the same character, just at a different point in her life. You know, this is the very beginning of Lara Croft, the Tomb Raider, kind of, you know, what you could say is an origin story, her very first adventure per se. Whereas what we had gotten in the other Lara Croft movies with Angelina Jolie was that she was already that seasoned kind of veteran explorer that you get from the original, you know, PS1 gameplay. And now people familiar with the game will know that this is the most recent iteration of the video game that has come out. You know, I think maybe 2 or 3 years ago, where it features her just beginning out, you know, stranded on an island, having to deal with just her wits, not her famous sidearms, those, whatever those were, those Colt Pythons or whatever, 45s or I forget exactly what they were. I think in this movie, you know, she gets them at the very end, and they are like Heckler Koch, I think 45s, they say. I'm not exactly a gun expert, so, but they do say it was H&K, and I know that's the company for a lot of guns. But in this one, and which pulls from the most recent game, she is again just using her wits to survive against, you know, the forces of Trinity, this evil organization that she discovers that had murdered her father, Dominic West, in this, and using the help of both Nick Frost and Daniel Wu, who are very familiar to this type of action adventure drama, plus some comedy with Nick Frost from their work in Into the Borderlands, on TNT, their own series, which is very good. I highly recommend it. Heading into the 3rd season, I believe, this summer. So definitely check that out for more action adventure, very much along lines of this movie, Tomb Raider. So definitely go ahead and check it out. It is a strong shaka thumbs up. This is probably the best movie out of the entire franchise. Again, I found, I like Angelina Jolie. I wish she had done a 3rd movie, but Alicia Vikander is committed to this role. She went through a lot of physical training for this role, and it definitely pays off. Now, some of the shots are CGI, of course, for safety and stunt reasons. And some you can very much tell, but for the most part, they do a good job of incorporating the realism and the fake into this. And what you get is a pretty good Indiana Jones wannabe movie, knockoff, which very much is the Tomb Raider persona. So, you can't really fault it for that. It is a good movie. I found the second half and the 3rd act being the very best, especially in the pace of the action. Again, this is an origin story, so the first act kind of deals with you getting familiar with this character again, describing who Lara Croft was, her relationship as a child with her father, also another great adventurer, professor, scholar, that pretty much she mirrors herself after, and turns out to be possibly even better than he was. Again, that I found was a little slow myself, being familiar with the 1st and 2nd movie, and also with the game. I felt that you didn't really need a lot of that 1st act. That could have just been summed up in 15 to 20 minutes of some flashbacks and maybe voiceover. In this, you do get a lot of voiceover again from her father in flashbacks, but you also get where she has, because her father had died early in her life, she had pretty much withdrawn from the Croft name and all the trappings that entailed. Also the advantages. And this is to go and show you that she goes and shows you how she becomes the Lara Croft that we see today, the tough woman with tenacity, who is able to think on her feet and get out of, dangerous circumstances and situations, much more than school, much more of a streetwise character, more than a school-taught individual scholar, which I found, I found that they could have, again, shortened that up. There's a big, long scene where you see her doing some physical training. You see that she is struggling to survive without the wealth of her family name. Very much kind of like a Creed style beginning, bare bones beginning story, which again, like Creed, we had seen so much of, and this was just kind of too light, in the face of great movies like Creed, where we see, somebody who wants to struggle, wants to throw off the highlights of their position and social status to become a stronger, better person in the end, being judged on their own merits. However, again, it's just a little too long, I think, and a little too forced. Whereas I think they could have went a little bit quicker into the 2nd and 3rd acts, which really do a wonderful job. Walter Goggins, as usual, plays a wonderful villain, very characterized persona of the head bad guy on this island, where a mystery unfolds and Lara Croft has to reach, the treasure before, these bandits do. And so again, without any spoilers, this is a shaka thumbs up. Definitely go and check it out. I saw it in 2D, so I didn't feel the need to see it in 3D. There's really nothing that jumps out at you. Again, some of the scenery is nice, some of the action pieces are nice, but again, it doesn't need like 3D or IMAX. So I'd say save your money, just see it 2D, and especially at the $7 on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at Consolidated, or the $6 on Tuesday at Regal Theaters would be your best option. But this is a fun, entertaining action-adventure movie that will, if you are a fan of the Angelina Jolie's 1 and 2 Tomb Raiders, will fit right in with your other 2 movies in your collection. And definitely, if you're just looking for something to watch later on Netflix or iTunes, and you want a good action movie, you'll get that again, probably about half an hour into the movie after the first act. This movie is about 2 hours, 15 minutes. So, that first act is a little tough to sit through, and it's almost all exposition. All right, thank you so much. Again, shaka thumbs up for Tomb Raider. The new Alicia Vikander, starring movie. And, this Trinidad, the Island Man, your Island Man, wishing you a happy aloha for the weekend.